What's good, fellas? My name's Andy, and in this video, we're gonna take a look at Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Right now, they're teammates, obviously, and hopefully it'll stay that way for the rest of their careers, because they're both amazing and really fun to watch. And Sixers fans deserve something better after watching their team tank for the last 3 or 4 years. Simmons and Embiid also seem to have completely different personalities, yet they still get along really well. Simmons seems to be a bit more quiet and reserved, but he's also very confident in himself and even stated that he wants to be right up there with the NBA greats. Embiid is pretty damn entertaining off the court. His Twitter game is on point, and honestly, he just seems to be free-spirited and, being himself. But anyway, 15 to 20 years from now, when it's all said and done and both of their careers are probably going to be coming to an end, which player will go down as the better player? Which player will have the better career, Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid? Let's take a look at Embiid first. After sitting out his first 2 seasons, Embiid hit the ground running at the start of the 2016-17 season. He only appeared in 31 games that season and then sat out for the rest of the year with injuries again, which isn't a good sign to be honest. But in the 31 games that he did play in, he looked like a legitimate superstar. Embiid averaged 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2.5 blocks per game in just 25 minutes a game. That's insane. He was averaging all-star numbers in just 25 minutes. Part of it was because he did have an insane 36% usage rate, but still, that's really impressive. Now, Embiid did have some issues with turning the ball over, and those issues are still occurring today. So far this season, he's averaging about 4 turnovers a game, which is still a problem. However, right now, he's still continuing where he left off, and his numbers are still looking really good. He's also finishing plays at the rim a lot more efficiently than he was last year, and playing more minutes as well. Another thing I should mention is that Embiid is nearly 2.5 years older than Simmons. So when it comes to age, Embiid should be hitting his prime sooner than Ben Simmons, but it also means that he'll likely have a shorter career as well. I mean, let's be real, the main question mark about Embiid is his health. Actually, that kind of applies to both of them, but Embiid has sat out for longer periods of time with his injuries. When he's healthy though, he's amazing, but how long can he actually stay healthy? If we look through NBA history and see what happened to other big men with foot problems, it's not good. Guys like Bill Walton, Ralph Sampson, Sam Bowie, Greg Oden, Yao Ming, those are the more well-known cases of big men suffering foot injuries and having their careers cut short. But the list goes on and on. Embiid is just as big as some of those guys and probably weighs close to 300 pounds. His official weight listing is 250 pounds, which doesn't really make sense at all to me. That was probably his recorded weight when he first got drafted, but he's massive right now. I guess the point is Embiid's health might be an issue down the road. When he reaches his prime though, I can see him averaging like 27 or 28 points a game, 12 or 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 or 3 blocks a game. His ceiling could very well be one of the best centers of all time. His numbers might be a bit similar to DeMarcus Cousins, but I can see Embiid being the better defender and less of an emotional lesbian. So, Ben Simmons. He's just been really impressive. I don't think any other rookie in history put up these kind of numbers. He's nearly averaging a triple-double. He hasn't shown any sort of reliable jump shot yet though, but he doesn't really need one right now because he's so big that he has a mismatch every single game. But in the future and during the playoffs, it's easier for opponents to game plan around players who can't shoot, especially since Simmons is their primary playmaker. Opposing defenders can sag off him all day, and as a result, his entire team would have problems scoring. Of course, it's not a huge problem with the way the Sixers are built, since guys like Redick and Covington complement Simmons' skill set perfectly, and they give him a lot of space to do his thing. But with the way the NBA is going now, it's always beneficial to have as many shooters as possible. Even Embiid has more range than Simmons, which is kinda funny. So anyway, what would Simmons' numbers look like in his prime? He's already almost averaging like a 20-point triple-double, so I don't know. Maybe he'll put up something like 25 to 26 points a game, 10 or 11 assists, and 9 or 10 rebounds a game or something? I can see him becoming more of a distributor as well, because even though he is a solid scorer, his passing and court vision are at an all-time great level. Being 6 foot 10 inches tall definitely helps too. Since he's so tall, he can see over the defense and make passes that the average point guard won't be able to do. Defensively, Simmons has been decent, but he could use some more work in that department. Sometimes he has trouble staying in front of quicker and smaller guards, which is natural because of his size. If he can develop into a great all-around defender who defends 2 through 5, that would be amazing. I do think that right now and in the future, Embiid will always have the greater impact on defense, because bigs who patrol the paint usually have a bigger impact than wing players on the perimeter. And I believe Embiid has a better chance of making more all-defensive teams. Simmons does have a lot of potential defensively though, so as of right now, it's still hard to decide who will end up having the bigger impact. Alright, anyway, who do I think is actually gonna go down as the better player? In my opinion, I think Ben Simmons will, mainly because of the big question marks surrounding Embiid's health. But of the two players, I also think Embiid has the higher ceiling. Embiid has the potential to be a top 5 center in NBA history. Just with his sheer size and talent, it's incredible. But it's less likely that he's actually going to reach his potential compared to Simmons, who I think has a lower ceiling, but he has a better chance to reach his. I hope that makes sense. Basically, I believe Embiid has more potential than Simmons, but he probably won't reach his full potential. Simmons will most likely have the longer career as well because he's younger and his style of play will age very well. Either way though, the Sixers have a really bright future. The process has been a success and now they have a young team that's very exciting to watch and are actually really good. I've always been a huge fan of the Sixers, especially back when Iverson was there, and I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I've been interested in watching them since all the way back then. They actually have a plan moving forward instead of rolling out a lineup that included guys like Drew Holiday, Evan Turner, and Thaddeus Young. No disrespect to those guys, but I'm sure everyone would rather watch the current Sixers, even if it meant tanking for a couple of years. Alright, that's all folks. When it's all said and done, who do you think will go down as the better player? Embiid or Simmons? Let me know in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.